Throughout emergency call centers, there has always been the ever-present problem of staffing. While this was highly exacerbated by the COVID era, turnover and retention have always been a challenge for this industry. But why has that been occurring? And where can emergency telecommunicators look to find that most important of assets, employees passionate for their work? This is LifeLine. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Lifeline 911 with your host, Erica.
Hello.
I am your co-host, Gary, and today we are going to be discussing how do we fill these empty spots? In an industry with such high turnover, for many, many reasons, which we've articulated throughout this show, how do you find new people that will do well, and where do you even look for them?
Yeah, I know we were talking about our community outreach received a not a phone call, but an email from a school teacher asking if we would be willing to come out and speak to her students. And this is a law enforcement class. What? And not just, like mock trial or any of that. No, no. These kids are learning to take 911 calls and dispatch 911 calls. They're learning EMD. They're learning fire protocols. I mean, the whole nine, which just blows my mind because there was nothing like it when I was going to school, last year.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because moving on.
You're, you're
Anyway,
21 now, so yeah.
I just thought that was so amazing. And I jumped at the opportunity. My response was, "We are in. Count us in. When do you need an answer? How many dates? Can you give me some dates so that we can nail this down?" And my interest was not, can they come to work tomorrow? No, my interest is if they are this invested now, if they're doing this work to become, you know, uh, IAED, whew,
You
International
got it.
Association of Emergency Dispatch. Yes, I nailed it. Certified. That means most of these kids could probably walk into any one of our centers, give them a crash course on the CAD system and maybe the radio. And while it wouldn't be sexy, they could probably get a call out. And it most likely would be right. And it would probably only take a little bit of tweaking or critiquing here or there. And they might be able to literally give some of us old heads a run for our money. And that's immediately where
Absolutely.
my mind went. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year when they graduate, I might see one of their names across my desk as a new hire.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
to answer
and
your question, that's an unlikely place. And I know as a rule, we're always thinking about how do we get butts in the seat right now. I think that's one of the areas that we as a profession are short-sighted. We think in the now. Get a butt in the seat. How quickly can I get them trained? We don't think about creating interest and nurturing the interest that is already there amongst the young people who are they're interested in this career. Why don't we nurture that? That's one of the areas we just fall short, I think, as a profession.
absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think that the using the lead up time to find people that already have an interest and want to get invested in it, and then going out there to actually kind of nurture that and
Hmm.
encourage it is really smart, because if you can find somebody who is actively pursuing it, is moving toward a career in emergency telecommunications, as opposed to moving away from their old career that they hated, and they're like, I saw this in the classifieds, what is this, 1990?
Wow.
I saw this in the computer, and I took this job. Like, that is how you get people that they may be like, oh man, that looks really cool, I've done this for 2 months and I really hate it now, but I tried. They might say that. Or they might be people that are like, I really, really like this, I want to do this the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And you can find that and nurture that and encourage that, so they, especially when they're so young, like when they're still in high school, they can develop into good good citizens, good workers,
Hmm.
and build those skills that will help them in so many areas in their life.
Agreed. And they are, you have an opportunity as someone that they would look up to, right? Because you're already in it and have been for a minute. You know the things that they don't know. They have an idea of what it is, but you can help bring the realities home. And they don't have to all be doom and gloom, right? We all have wonderful stories of people that probably hate each other in the comm center, but something tragic happens and we all band together. That sense of family, that sense of belonging, which we as a profession, because we keep it real over here, we don't always model that. But when we
Hmm.
do, it's when we lock arms and close ranks, it's real. So you can give them that sense of belonging and help to nurture and foster a career in someone who's already showing interest in doing the work and headed that direction. We don't think about that because they are not yet hireable, but actually they are, because they're doing the work ahead of time and they're not getting paid for it. They're
Yeah.
looking forward. So there's an intrinsic motivation that's going on there, and because most of them don't know how much where they land is going to pay. They'll just be glad to get in the door. They're not going to be comparing, this one makes this much, that one makes that much. Because I've been to classrooms and I tell them what the starting pay is, and they're like, you see their eyes get this big, and you just know they're thinking, I can go buy these shoes and I can buy this video game. And look, that's where they are. But
Hmm.
they're doing the
Yeah.
work right now
Hmm.
with the hope of
Yeah.
one day landing in a center just like ours. What? Let
Yeah.
me at them.
Or and then they learn about taxes and no, I'm just kidding.
Where are
Um,
they taking my money?
but yeah, like and schools are everywhere. They're wonderful recruiting grounds because
Mhm.
the kids are interested if they've chosen to be in this elective or take this special class, and you can go there and help guide them. And they may not work for your center, but they might find somewhere to land, or they might come up with some new program that helps out the industry. I mean, there are limitless possibilities for brains that age.
Absolutely.
So and also think about how much it would help break into, because we talk about a lot about eating our young, right?
Mhm.
When people come into the center for the first time, imagine how different an experience, maybe your old fogey has, who went to this kid's school and taught them a few times, and then they're like actually training with them. Are
Mhm.
they going to eat that person, or are they going to be like, I'm your mama hen now, so I'm gonna watch after you?
The latter. The latter,
Yeah.
because you watch them go from this kid that may or may not have raised their hand when you went to the class to talk to them to, hold on. Not only did they dig in, now they're in your center. Or lo and behold, what this happened to me, the kids came, they toured, never thought that I'd see them again. I knew there was interest in blah, 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 blah. But there's agencies all around us that they could have gone to. And the next thing I know, I get an email from the teacher saying this student is going to apply. Can you give her some guidance? Yeah. So I emailed her and I said, where are we in the process? She hadn't yet submitted her application. I said, you call me, you email me the minute. Don't hit enter before you reach out to me. And I was shocked. She did it. And she works
Yeah.
now.
Okay. What I mean, and that's like wonderful because you really it gives people that have been doing this a long time a bit of rejuvenation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they say that kids keep you young, right?
It's true.
So you can really get in and start help training them to be the best telecommunicator they can using those years of experience, and you get a really captive audience that's
Mm-hmm.
interested. I mean, how many times do you go to like job community job fairs or outreach events that have a really broad topic like
Yeah.
this live music, and so you guys are there. It's going to be hard to pick out interest in such a field, such a crowded field.
Yeah,
But if you are going to a place that's like these people chose to be in this class to do this work, now get to talk to them. Now try and sell them on the job that they already want to do.
yeah.
It's much easier to get to yes.
It's absolutely is, and we can't be short-sighted. Our center's short now. I get it. I absolutely get it. But if furthering the profession is what we're after, then it's worth the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth
And
the trip.
the cost of that, you've got a school that usually will partner with you. You don't have to pay them any money, and they might not be paying you any money. So really the only cost of that is your time
Yeah.
to leave the floor and go do this other project. And the benefits of that, you might capture one, two, three, four students a year that apply next year to work in your center.
Mhm.
And if if you so Erica, let me ask you, if you were hiring and I came up to you and I was like, "Hey, would you be willing to trade, 10 days of an employee's work time in order to hire four employees that you know are going to be here for 20 years? Would you take that deal?"
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's not cheap to hire somebody
No.
and not cheap to train them and not easy to get experience. So if you can have somebody invested from before day one, you
Yeah.
take that.
Yeah, you stole the words right out of my mouth because I was going to say when usually when we go to recruiting events or when someone is a new hire or they are applying, we know nothing about them. We don't even
Yeah.
know. We don't have any real character with references. Not really. I mean, but it doesn't get any more honest than a teacher saying that kid right there is the one that's getting the best grade in the class. Or when you get to see them in their environment and they're leaning forward, hanging on every word that you are saying, and they've got questions. It's like I told this teacher, tell them don't come empty handed. We want all the questions. The good, the bad, the hard ones, we want all the questions because we are coming prepared to answer all of them. And what am I looking for? Obviously, I'm not auditioning these kids, but I'm going to keep my eyes open and I'm going to remember the kids that have at least one question and not so much the ones that are sitting in the crouched down. And I get shy, but I also look at that as a challenge because most people who start shy don't stay shy in this environment because it builds confidence. It creates a
Hmm.
confidence in you when you help save someone's life or when you are helping to get them out of danger or keep them safe when they don't know how. And most people, when they apply, you don't know them from Tom's house cat. But these
Hmm.
kids, you get to see them in that environment and you know again that they are invested before it's they're investing before there's even a return. So I think that that's one area that we overlook. You mentioned it. The clerk at the either the grocery store, was it the cashier at the convenience store? I don't know how
Yeah.
many times.
Checkout counter,
Yeah,
waitress, hostess.
yeah. Many times I've seen people that I've come and they've got a line and they're doing this and they're doing that. They're working two or three registers and they're not missing a beat. And the line is long. There's like three lines. Like the 7-Eleven messes me up every time I see it. They got two or three registers going, right? And
Hmm.
they're not missing a beat. And it's one cashier handling three lines with three different cash registers.
Yeah.
I'm like, you looking for a job? You loving this here that you're doing? Because the supervisor in me is like, switch tasking, check. Customer service, check. Problem solving, check.
Yep.
Please tell
At
me you can
work.
type.
Check.
Yeah, yeah, okay. And a smile on your face, even though this has got to be brain numbing. Because not only are you trying to move these three lines, you got that one person that is leaned over the counter looking at the doggone scratch off tickets, and
Yep.
they want 15 of them.
Hmm.
Man, if
And
you
they want to pay
out of
with
this
quarters.
line with your lotto right now. Just makes me crazy. But you're looking at all of these transferable skills, and they are all skills. Calm under pressure. And it's hard
Yeah.
to stay calm under pressure when you've got demanding people in front of you. Now, with a little bit of training and a little bit of skill and a little bit of knowledge, what can I turn that into?
Right. Because you know what's really easy to teach? Uh, when you have a crash call, you're going to title it as a crash call. These are the questions you need to ask in this order. You know what's really, really, really hard to teach? Stay calm under pressure. Have a smile on.
Yeah.
Multi switch task.
Hmm.
So if you can find that, who cares what the job is? They can learn the job.
No
It's,
kidding.
yeah.
And one we
But if,
forgot, prioritization. Which one? What am I need to do? Because I got coffee over here that still needs to be done. I got these people over here. And how do I manage all of that? And it's not always about just who's in front of you. You know what? Give me just 1 second. Let me take care. I know you were here, but just give me 1 second. Let me do this. I mean, that's managing people,
yeah, yeah,
managing situations. It's knowing how to tell someone no without being ugly, without being um, disrespectful, because there is a way to respectfully say no, which we do a lot of in our industry. But it's not just no because I said so. It's
yeah,
no, it is because you said so, but your delivery is everything.
yeah. Because I cannot imagine an industry that says no more than we do to our quote unquote customers.
Agreed. Our
Uh,
internal and external.
yeah. And it's not something that gives a bunch of pleasure because it's a lot easier to just say yes and make people happy and they go on their way and we go on our way. But if you can figure that, walk that tightrope out of
Hmm.
saying, hey, no, can't do this right now. Let me get back to you. Let me get this coffee on 1 second.
Yeah,
And it's it's not hard to do that, but it is hard to do that day after day when you've got 10 other things to do and all these other things. So if you can find your, as you said, your 7-Eleven cashier, your, McDonald's window taker at the
yeah.
order taker at the
Order
window.
taker, because guess what? They're looking at you and smiling, taking your money, listening to something else going on in their ear,
But
dealing
is
with
there
it.
anybody else that like listens to something in their ear while they're talking to somebody else and maybe typing on it? I can't. There's
I'm trying to
somebody.
think.
There's another job that
Oh my
does that.
God. Call takers and dispatchers, maybe?
Yep. Yep. And how many times like have we talked about training and we always talk about the hardest phase of training is not the learning the rote policies and procedures.
Mm.
It's it's that phase at the end when you're
Yeah.
like I, I'm putting all these things together
Yeah.
and these people
Are
already know how
already
to
doing that.
yeah.
And we get to say, okay, do you remember when you were working? Remember when I met you in the drive through and you were doing this and this and this? Same thing, just different ingredients. Now, how would you apply it after I give you everything you need? Take that experience that you already have, and that's another thing that we are terrible at, dismissing previous experience and not taking what the person brings to the table already and applying it to what we're trying to teach them and watching it take hold. We're terrible at that. Well, they used to work at McDonald's. So what? You used to work somewhere before here.
Yeah.
And
Everyone started somewhere.
somewhere. And guess what makes you better? The fact that you can take what they used to do and marry it to what we're trying to get them to do and end up with a final product. How about we try that on for size?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. This is a
There's
CTO in
so
me, you guys. This is how I get when I start talking about training and things like that. So let me bring it down. Okay.
breathe, just breathe. Serenity now.
Okay.
But yeah, like if you are in, public safety, telecommunicator, and you see somebody out there that is demonstrating these skill sets, and you're like, hey, this is somebody I'd want to work next to.
Hmm.
A really great thing to do is go up to that person, provided the scenario is okay for that,
Agreed.
and say, hey, have you ever thought about taking 911 calls? Have you ever thought about dispatching police or fire or EMS? And they're going to be like, no, I haven't, almost every time.
Almost every
And
time.
they,
You know, I
yep.
saw
And
this
they get,
show. I'm like, it's not at all like that. But let me tell you
yep.
how it really is. Or
Yeah. So the first thing you're going to tell them is, well, go online and get the podcast Lifeline 911. And then
Yes.
after that, you're going to say, let me tell you about the experience because it can be really, really awesome and
Yeah,
rewarding.
and rewarding. And most people in those service type jobs are in them. They may go in for one reason, but they stay. Yes, probably, depending on what it is, the money might be pretty good. But then when you present them with the opportunity to help someone in their hour of need, that changes the game.
Hmm.
Invite them to come and listen in. Ah, you know,
You can do that.
and now is not the time to ask them in front of the line at the 7-Eleven if they've got a criminal background that might prohibit it. But just kind of slide your number or something, do something. But look
Yeah.
places that may not seem obvious because you encounter people way more often than you realize that have drive, they have qualities that we can hone, that we can use, that we can shape and mold into what we're looking for. We talk about it all the time, especially on this show, that having that first responder mentality. You know how you start to build that before they even hit enter. You start talking to them about the good they get to do. They know they're
Yeah.
probably good. They know we're 24/7, 365. They know that.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt to
So
remind.
7-Eleven.
Agree. See, uh-huh.
Yeah, and it just carry maybe your organization has some handout cards, some little pamphlets or something. If not, those are pretty easy to make. Maybe get
Hmm.
with your division director and say, "Hey, I'm out and about in the town. I see people. Could I have a couple of, give out cards or,
Yeah.
that I can give to people that I see that might be good at this?" They'll
And
probably say yes.
even if you don't have if it doesn't have anyone's name on it, what does it cost us to make a few slips of paper that says, hey, you know what? And I feel like you might find this interesting. I see a few qualities that will translate well into what we do. I don't have the authority to hire anybody, but I see something.
Hmm. Yeah.
You
And
ever consider 911? Here's a card that has the city or county, whatever it is, application. Even if all it has is the website and the what is that? The job description and the pay scale. Most of us, our city and counties, have that on the website where you can look up a job description and see the pay range. Let them make up their own mind. All you're doing is planting the seed, maybe adding a little water with some of
yeah,
your experience, right?
because most people don't even. I mean, they know about it. If you're like, "Do you know what a 911 call taker is?" They'd be like, "Yeah, they take 911 calls," but that's not something most people think about. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're watching the show, that's probably a career you've thought about at one point, maybe even you've done.
Yeah.
Um, but for most people, it's like no, like it's
Me?
like a lineman.
Me?
Yeah.
You thinking me? I could do that? I don't know how many times that's happened to me. And I do the same thing we just talked about. I'm like, well, you handling three cash registers at once.
Hmm. You're carrying a tray of drinks and then also taking orders. Just in your mind.
What?
Is there anybody else that has to hear information that's varied and remember it for a while until they can enter it into a computer?
A few people that I know. I work with a few of
Yeah,
them every day. Yeah,
yeah. So you see that there's so many correlations between skill sets out there, and these are we've only covered a few of them.
just a precious few.
Yeah, but think about if you're in the industry, what you do in your job, and then when you're out and about and you see people, don't be afraid to strike up that conversation. If it's somebody that you think might have some qualities, because that's the best way to get people involved. Because let me tell you, having a face-to-face discussion with somebody who's actively trying to recruit you, do you know how good that would make you feel as that cashier at 7-Eleven? Because you could be like, this person who saves lives came in and talked to me and they asked me if I was interested in doing this. How
Yes,
cool is that?
out of everybody that they could have. And you know the lot that we are. We wouldn't do that to just know anybody. Oh, and one last thing I would say is this is really one of those situations where you absolutely do not judge the book by its cover. Meaning, just because the person has a few years they've lived doesn't mean that they are incapable of catching on, because we have been proven wrong a few times in our some would consider a large agency, or about 200 people. They would
Hmm.
say, we have been biased and said that persons over a certain age can't do this. You might be doing your agency a disservice by not recognizing the same qualities in this person just because they might have a little silver.
Hmm. Yeah, and they might be a little slower physically, but you know what they have? They have wisdom, they have
Hmm.
experience,
Hmm.
they have knowledge.
Hmm.
Uh, Usually they have a little bit better control over their emotions sometimes.
Most of
I
the
know
time, not always,
for,
but
from
most of the time, because they've lived
sure,
and
that's true.
they've learned the consequences of speaking first and thinking after the fact.
Yep, they
So,
spent those nights in jail. They got over that.
n- not really the best example, Gary, because depending on what it was for and how long ago it was, they no matter what you say, they would not be. Mm-mm. I get
Fair
your point.
point.
Yes.
But yeah, like, they they can, don't limit yourself.
Hmm.
Look for those qualities. We hear the term diamond in the rough all the time,
All day.
all day. And and then as you, the person that went out and found this person, how good are you going to feel if you're like, hey, I saw them at 7-Eleven, 6 weeks ago, and now they're in the classroom.
Yeah.
And if you're a department director out there, give your people some incentive. Hey, you had three people that came in and applied and made it to classroom training. I'm going to give you a day off of paid work or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, an extended lunch. So I don't know what you can
Yes,
do.
yeah,
And
yeah.
even if you can't do anything else, you know what you can say. Wait for it. Thank you. You can say thank you. We appreciate it. We notice.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you don't get that from anyone, you also know, you yourself as a lover of this profession, that you are doing your part to help build it up. Even if they never come and apply at your agency, the seed that you plant might very well be what causes them 3 months down the line, when they move to whatever city or town that they're going to land in, because you never know what stage in life you might find someone. They remember the things that you said, because the qualities don't change just because they moved a few counties away. They may apply there. And I know when we're talking about recruiting, we're most of the time we're talking about recruiting for the agency we work for. But here, like everything that we talk about, it's profession wide, industry wide. Think bigger. Think bigger.
Mm-hmm. And even if that person never applies or has any interest in applying, you and we talked about this, I think, in season one. You have made an outsized impact because they're going to be like, oh, this person is, a police, fire, EMS, they're some sort of public safety dispatcher. I had a good interaction with them.
That's
I
true.
hate, I hate these people a little bit less.
Agreed.
And that's something that is always a bonus because
Agreed.
then later on, when they have to call 911, they might not be yelling at the person on the other end of the line.
Hmm.
And you know what? That might be you.
Agreed. Oh, well said. Well said.
Think. But yeah, there's so many opportunities out there. I think a lot of times we just kind of get our blinders on and we're like, I'm going to put up the ad on uh, the internet. I'm going
Hmm.
to put it out on the Facebook. I'm going to head down to the 4th of July barbecue event and try and recruit some people. And those can all be really good things, but look at your opportunities for schools where you can get together with kids that are interested and you shape them.
Yeah.
Look at your opportunities for people that are displaying positive work qualities that you meet throughout the day. I mean,
Agreed.
we gave you 5 or 6 examples of people.
Yeah.
And as Erica said, don't be don't be biased or limited by don't judge the book by its cover,
Hmm.
because it might just surprise you
Yeah,
and have some really excellent qualities that your center needs.
agreed. Agreed.
So we appreciate you all so much for listening, and we would love to hear about any recruitment strategies or operations you guys have going on. If you'd like to let us know, please shoot us an email at lifeline911podcast@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment down below. We really enjoy reading them, and sometimes they spark some lively debate.
Yep, like Josh from the last episode.
Exactly. And from all of us at Lifeline 911, I'm Gary,
I'm Erica.
and we will see you next week.
Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about today's topic or topics you'd like to cover in the future, please reach out to us at lifeline911podcast@gmail.com. This has been a production of Lifeline 911, copyright 2026. Until next time, this is Lifeline 911 signing off.